Hey guys, tonight we're diving into why yes you, probably wouldn't last a single day in medieval times. Forget the glossy Hollywood castles and pretty gowns, this is the real deal. And trust me, by sundown, you'd either be frozen, filthy, starving, or dead. Before we get too deep into the mud, and there's a lot of mud, hit that like button if you enjoy gritty history, and tell me in the comments. If you were dropped in the year 1347, what's the first thing you think would kill you? Now, dim the lights, wrap yourself in a blanket, and imagine this. Because you're about to wake up in a world where toothpaste is a luxury, bath time is a biannual event, and the air smells like, well, you'll see. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice? Darkness. The second thing? The smell. A rich, earthy mix of damp straw, old smoke, and the faint whiff of the chamber pot sitting in the corner. You relying on a straw mattress shared with two other people, possibly your siblings, possibly not. It's hard to tell in the dark. You shift, and a piece of straw pokes you in the ear. No alarm clock, no phone. Your wake-up call is the sound of a rooster screaming outside like it's been personally offended by the sun. In your normal life, you complain about your memory foam pillow not being fluffy enough. Here, your pillow is a folded piece of cloth stuffed with, if you're lucky, more cloth. If you're unlucky, old rags and maybe a mouse. And that sore neck you're feeling? Get used to it. It's not going away. Medieval mornings started early. You're up with the sun, if you're a peasant, because there's work to do and exactly zero labor-saving devices. No coffee machine, no toaster, no microwave burrito. Just cold air and chores. Now that you've survived the first few miserable minutes, it's time for the part of the day that really separates the soft from the stubborn. Breakfast. And spoiler, it's not pancakes. You shuffle to the table, or rather, the rough wooden plank that counts as a table. There's no fridge to open, no smell of sizzling bacon. Instead, you're greeted by a pot of pottage. Pottage is everything. Leftovers from last night. And the night before. A stew that's never really finished, just topped up with whatever's available. Root vegetables, grains, maybe a scrap of meat if the universe has decided to bless you today. You take a spoonful. It's hot, filling, and tastes vaguely like cabbage met oatmeal and decided to form an uneasy truce. The texture? Let's call it medieval smoothie with lumps. No sugar, no spice, just fuel for a long day of work. You try not to think about the fact that some of these vegetables were harvested last autumn and have been hanging out in a damp cellar ever since. In 2025, if your breakfast isn't Instagrammable, you call it a tragedy. In 1325, if your breakfast doesn't have worms in it, you call it a miracle. Bread might make an appearance, but it's dense and stale enough to double as a medieval self-defense weapon. You dip it in the pottage until it's soft enough to chew without losing a tooth. And coffee? Forget it. Tea? Not here. Your morning drink is likely weak ale, because water can kill you faster than the cold if it's not boiled or fermented first. Now that you've choked down your cabbage oatmeal and beer for breakfast combo, it's time to get to work. And no, this isn't work from home. This is work until your back aches, your hands blister, and your clothes smell like you lost a fight with a goat. Next stop, a day in the fields. And trust me, this is where your Fitbit would start crying. You step outside, and the cold morning air hits you like a slap from Mother Nature herself. There's mud everywhere, thick, sticky, and absolutely determined to claim your shoes. Your tools? A wooden hoe, maybe an iron-tipped spade if your village is lucky. No tractor, no gloves with gel padding, no playlist to keep you moving. Just you, the dirt, and the knowledge that you'll be doing this until the sun goes down. Your breath turns white in the cold, your hands sting, and your lower back starts plotting revenge about 20 minutes in. The smell of manure is inescapable, part fertilizer, part perfume of the peasant lifestyle. You bent over, packing at frozen soil, when you realize this is still easier than summer, when the sun tries to kill you instead. In your world, hard labor is carrying all the grocery bags in one trip. Here, your light work involves hauling water buckets heavier than your gym dumbbells, over uneven ground, and shoes that feel like medieval torture devices for your toes. And there's no calling in sick. If you can stand, you work. If you can't stand, you're probably not standing ever again. Most of the year, peasants were farming someone else's land, growing crops they didn't get to keep, paying rent not in money but in a percentage of the food they just harvested. Your survival depended on weather, luck, and the goodwill of people richer than you, which, spoiler, was in short supply. After hours of back-breaking labor, your stomach is growling, your hands are raw, and your shoulders feel like they've been replaced with bricks. Time to head back and see what's for lunch. Don't get excited. It's probably the exact same thing you had for breakfast. But hey, at least it's warm.